Some cities wow you the way you expect them to. And then there are the ones that sneak up on you and completely steal the show. For me, Malaga was one of those. This is day 5 in our Azamara cruise, and we are in the city of Malaga, one of the most famous cities right here in the coast of Spanish Andalusia. Tucked along Spain's Costa del Sol, it's a place often dismissed as just a sun and sea playground, or a transit point for party seekers heading inland. But beneath the reputation lies a city with 3,000 years of history, a cultural heartbeat shaped by empires, and a spirit that's as intoxicating as its wine. And what an amazing day to be in Malaga. We were docked literally right in the city, and Malaga's historic centre is just within walking reach. But before we headed out, we indulged in a breakfast in one of Azamara's specialty restaurants, Aquilina, where guests in the suites can enjoy a calmer and peaceful start to the day. It was my first time in Malaga, a city I've heard so much about, with a reputation of being a party central. But from what I've experienced, Malaga is actually so much more and deserves your attention. Apart from stunning coastlines and beaches, Malaga is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the whole world, and it's certainly worthy of admiration and respect. I went exploring solo, as both Dave and Patrick have already been here a few times, and I already had my own itinerary in mind. First stop, the Malaga Cathedral. Or as the locals call it, La Manquita, the one-armed lady, due to the fact that after hundreds of years, one of her towers is still unfinished. But here's the thing, I love visiting churches and cathedrals. I'm not exactly a religious person, but I would visit cathedrals, mosques, synagogues, temples, because there's so much beauty, architecture, art and creativity poured into the structures, practically time capsules carved in stone. And this cathedral in Malaga is a great beauty, blending Gothic and Renaissance flamboyantly. Built during the Christian Reconquest directly on top of a former mosque, just like many cathedrals all over Andalusia, this majestic cathedral will take your breath away with its soaring ceilings, intricately woven with a touch of Baroque. There's also extraordinarily carved choir stalls, some of the best you'll see of Spanish craftsmanship. And just everywhere you look, there's an old world atmosphere that feels like you've been plunged back to distant centuries past. By mid-morning, the Andalusian sun was making a full-time job of reminding me I needed a summer hat. So a quick hat shopping later, I found a woven hat and was officially in full Spanish mode. Right after, Malaga immediately plunged me even further back in time as I encountered this ancient Moorish fortress palace, a Casbah or citadel in the middle of the city. I am now in Alcazaba in Malaga, and this is one of the most well-preserved fortifications in the entire Spain, built during the 11th century during the Muslim-ruled period of Al-Andalus. This place is an absolute time capsule. From the outside, it might look like another fortress of stone, but climb above the ramparts and you'll get wondrous views of the city and the sea. The Mediterranean breeze, a real treat. You can even see the path through Gibraltar, the older Phoenician fortress on the higher hill. And within the Alcazaba are tranquil gardens, courtyards with fountains, Moorish arches and sunny patios with views. I mean, this whole place used to be a palatial residence within these walls. Just below the Alcazaba lies a 1st century Roman theatre, discovered in the 1950s after centuries buried in rubble. And you thought Malaga was just beaches and sangria. There's a few centuries of history right under your feet. I explored the city further, following the shade, and strolled through Parque de Málaga, this pretty urban park with leafy promenades, lined with palm trees and wonderful architecture, with occasional fountains and even leafier gardens. But the midday heat kicked up a notch, so I avoided the sun for a little while and took refuge in Museo de Málaga, a treasure trove of archaeology and fine art housed in a grand customs building. Upstairs, 19th century Spanish painters made me pause. Really beautiful and dramatic seascapes, mythological paintings and portraits. and works by Enrique Simonet, Francisco de Goya, and Pablo Picasso. And speaking of which, as you very well know, Picasso is Malaga's most famous son, born in this city in 1881. I went to hunt down the painter's famous sculpture, which is located in Plaza de la Merced, and there he was, Pablo minding his own business, while tourists snap away their holiday photos, with Pablo looking unbothered as ever. I had some spare time and wanted to visit the Picasso Museum here, but I hadn't booked a ticket in advance, and the line looked like it could stretch back to the Blue period. Rookie mistake. But pro tip, Picasso waits for no one. Still, I admire the facade, a museum housed in 16th century Buena Vista Palace, once owned by the Counts of Buena Vista. Elsewhere, I had so much joy just wandering around the old town, with streets like a maze, bustling areas and wide open plazas. It felt like I was just scratching the surface of Malaga. I reunited with pals Dave and Patrick and went to Bodega El Pimpi, and we were even graced by Dave's friend Emily, who joined us for lunch. I've been told El Pimpi is a veritable institution, and undoubtedly part of Malaga's soul, where each corner drips with so much character, rooms that twist like maze, so much art, Andalusian tiles, photos, plants hang on every wall, wine barrels stacked up and sung by famous personalities. We sat outside, al fresco, and the place felt warm, chaotic, and yet absolutely charismatic. And food? Classic, comforting tapas, and absolutely local. We had oxtail stew, fried anchovies, squid, all drowned with tinto de verano. This is the kind of place where you might come for a quick tapas and end up staying for hours. It's a real slice of Andalusian joy. Further ahead, Patrick took us to La Tranca, which is this offbeat, authentic local bar that looks and feels like vintage Spain. Old records plaster the walls where menus are written in chalk. It's unfussy and packed with attitude, and we loved it. More tinto de verano for everybody. And I even tasted a local fortified wine called Pajarete, which is local to Malaga, and it's sweet and delectably good. We carried on walking and headed to the ship, but spontaneously stopped at another tapas place because, well, when in Malaga, we stopped at La Clasica for another cheeky round of tapas and a glass of vermouth. I suppose this is how Malaga gets you. Is this our what? 5th day or 6th day in Spain?
Who knows and who cares?
Yeah, whatever. Finally, we're having jamón ibérico for the first time. There we go. Going to my mouth, now or never. There's no going back.
Stop!
We walked during the golden hour when the city was so alive with movement. But before we ended our day, Patrick and I wandered quickly into Vinoteca Bouquet for a bit of Malaga wine tasting, sampling the local flavors, and then took a quick peek at Malaga's oldest tavern, Casa de Guardia. It was already sunset and headed to Malaga's wonderful port, which is even more gloriously alive in this time. We made it back on the ship just in time for some proper Andalusian extravaganza, a special flamenco performance. I was delighted to catch this flamenco show, a true art form that originated here in the Andalusian region of Spain. Azamara really did well by bringing in cultural aspects of the places we visit on board, so we get an authentic experience such as this. So, great props to Azamara for a splendid evening of Andalusian entertainment. We finished the evening by just relaxing at the back of the ship, above the deck, overlooking the port of Malaga, which glowed in the dusk. Malaga revealed itself to me in layers. Cathedrals with unfinished towers, Moorish palaces with secret gardens, Roman theatres buried for centuries, and taverns where laughter and music spill into the streets. It was history and happiness, art and appetite, all wrapped in Andalusian sunshine. As we sailed away, watching the city glow under the fading light, I realized Malaga wasn't just any other stop on this voyage. It was a reminder of why we travel, to go beyond the surface, to taste, to listen, to be surprised, and to let a place leave its mark. One thing I knew for sure, this isn't goodbye. Malaga has a way of pulling you back, and I cannot wait to return. Watch my full Azamara cruise experience now streaming on my YouTube channel as we cruise on the Azamara onward from the Atlantic to the Mediterranean Sea, sailing from Lisbon to Barcelona, with stops in Seville, Ceuta and Malaga on the way. If you love the look and feel of this Azamara cruise so far, imagine experiencing this for real. Next year, you can join the same cruise journey, but longer and even more immersive, next June 2026 on an unforgettable voyage from Barcelona to Bordeaux aboard the Azamara Quest for 14 nights. It's more than just a cruise, it's a deep dive into the soul of the Iberian Peninsula, exploring Spain, Portugal and a little bit of northern France. Email me at jans@inthemoodforlife.com or scan the QR code or visit azamaracruise2026.inthemoodforlife.com. Only 30 cabins are available, so limited spots only. Hurry, Iberia is calling.